Hello, welcome to another edition of Youth Spotlight. Sitting here today with Abigail O'Donnell. Abigail, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Very good. Now, we're at Polishing the Pulpit. Have you been to Polishing the Pulpit before?
2 other times.
2 other times, right? Now, not back-to-back years. Do y'all come every year?
Yes, sir.
You do. Now, obviously, the unique aspect of that question is, Abigail, you don't live here in America.
No.
Tell our readers where you live.
I live in New Zealand.
New Zealand, and they don't go by cities there. Do you go by cities in New Zealand?
Yes, but they're a bit smaller than they are over here.
All right, so what place are you from? Is it a town or what?
I'm from a very small town called Foxton.
Foxton, New Zealand, right? And you were just telling me that the seasons there are a little different. So back when you go, you're leaving here within the next few days. It's going to be very cold there.
It'll be turning into spring. So as it's turning into fall over here, it'll be turning into spring.
So you're on the other side of the world. Other side of the world. Now, Abigail, obviously you know why you're here, but our readers don't know why I'd like this interview. But I'll tell them, just as a kind of a lead-in, your parents are missionaries. And I don't even know if I can just say your parents, because it really is a family event. It's not like your mom and dad are living in a bubble and, oh, by the way, we have children. It's you're living in New Zealand as a missionary family. Tell us a little bit about that. You're 14 years old. How is it growing up in New Zealand in a mission field?
It's good, and it's also busy because since we're moving to America every year for close to 3 to 4 months, it's almost like we're moving all the time. So just packing up everything and moving to a different country. So then lots of campaigns, so schedule's always busy. But you also get to experience both cultures, which is, I think, a good thing for someone my age.
Right, absolutely. So you're coming back to the States, 3 months out of the year, you said. And, of course, some people may not know the whys behind that, but when you come back here, obviously, it's not like you just get to stay in one place. You're traveling around, going to various supporting congregations. Is that right?
Yeah, well, my dad now is just supported by a few congregations now, so we're not as busy as we used to be. We would travel from state to state all the time. Now we're just based more in Tennessee and Alabama. Oh,
very good. That southern accent's coming through, by the way. Yeah. Well, tell me what it is like being in New Zealand. Were you born there?
Yes, I was born in Palmerston North, which is about 2 hours from the capital, Wellington.
Okay.
And my mom's from here. My dad's from New Zealand, and he came over for preaching school.
Gotcha.
So that when they moved back to New Zealand, they had us, and then we've moved back to America every year.
Every year since. So you have a set of grandparents in New Zealand and a set of grandparents here in America.
I do.
Hey, how about that? Well, is it weird? I mean, in New Zealand, not just in New Zealand, but just being a missionary family in general. I grew up the son of a preacher. Of course, I am a preacher, so I understand what that's like. Describe what it is like being a teenager in a missionary's family, though.
I think the only thing that's different is that you're judged a bit differently. I think you're looked at as you're supposed to be better than the other people. I think a lot of the times we get comments, and because we're placed in a different light as a child that doesn't have their parents don't have any sort of, I wouldn't say biblical, just as a job, as a preacher or an elder or something like that. I think it's a bit different because you're looked at differently, so that can be hard sometimes because you're not judged as...
Which isn't really fair, is it? No, but I guess that happens to a lot of different preachers' kids as well. I didn't know if it happened to missionary kids or not. So I guess in your school situation, are you homeschooled in the public school there? What's going on?
I'm homeschooled, and I have been my whole life.
Okay.
And, one of the reasons is because since we're moving all the time, it'd be kind of hard to deal with the homework and stuff like that. So it's easy to pick up the books and move.
Very good. But that also allows you to be involved with what your mom and dad are doing, probably more so.
And my dad is also a beekeeper, and he has about 500 hives.
Did you say beekeeper?
So we're busy with that a lot.
Wow.
As an add-on to the missionaries.
Yeah, what do y'all do? Sell the honey or what?
My dad,
eat the honey? I'd eat the honey personally. But
we do both. Eat honey. We love honey.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad sells it commercially. So we sell it to a big business, and then they'll sell it like to stores and stuff
like that. How about
that?
So that's another way maybe of helping advance the cause of the gospel by supporting your family.
Yeah.
Ah, very nice. Do you ever go out with the bees?
Oh, quite a bit actually.
Have you ever been stung by a bee? Have you really?
Too many times I don't think I could count actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, you wear the bee hat and everything, don't you?
Oh, all the gear.
Okay.
The gloves, the veil.
I would hope so. Wow. Let me ask you this. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of time today. You are one of 3 children. You are the middle child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've always heard about the middle child syndrome. Do you have the middle child syndrome?
Yes, I think a little bit.
So you're the peacemaker. You feel shunned. What do you mean you think you do?
Because the oldest gets to have a lot of privileges,
Mhm.
and the youngest is kind of babied, and the
Yeah.
middle is just there.
It's not fair, is it?
Mm-mm.
It's not fair at all. We get overlooked. You know, I'm the middle child. I don't know if you knew that.
Really?
I've got an
No.
older brother and a younger brother.
Mhm.
So I kind of get
I
that
know
too.
how it feels.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Kind of sad. Well, thank you for sitting down and visiting with us. Let me ask you this. If you were to leave kind of a last message to teenagers who might want to know what it's like being a teenager in a missionary's family, or maybe their families going into mission work, or they're already in mission work, what's one piece of advice you could give to another teenager that you've learned? I'm not asking you to make anything. What have you learned about mission work?
I've learned that you need to keep in the Bible, keep reading, because you can easily be discouraged moving from place to place, leaving friends all the time, being homesick a lot. And so being close to your parents is a big thing. I'm very close to my parents and tell them a lot of things, because since we're together so much, it's important to stay close to your family and read your Bible, I think.
Keeps you grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Abigail, thank you for being our youth spotlight. I appreciate it.
Thank you.